right, so now we are in the last part of our SOL 8.3 A, B, and C. We're looking at the last portion of C, which is multiplying radicals. All right, so again, how does understanding combining like terms and simplifying expressions, and how does simplifying radicals help simplify radical expressions? So more so, that last bullet point is going to apply to our lesson today. How does understanding radicals help with simplifying radical expressions? Our learning targets: I can simplify a numerical expression containing square or cube roots. I can multiply two binomial radical expressions. So the strategy: multiply the coefficients outside the radical together, make a factor tree, and find the prime factorization of the radicands, which is the term inside. Multiply and simplify both of the radicals together. Remember to simplify based off pairs of factors for square roots and groups of 3 factors for cube roots. So that still applies to this lesson today. Right, so at the top there is an error. This would definitely say multiplying, so I'm just going to scratch out this adding and subtracting. All right, so we can see, remember that we talk about in parentheses, that shows that it's multiplying. So we're multiplying 4 times the square root of 5 and 2 times the square root of 3. So looking here, we can see we have 4 times 2. So remember, you multiply your coefficients, you multiply your radicands. Now, in some cases, you'll be able to simplify your radicands before moving on. But looking here, we have the square root of 5 and we have the square root of 3. So we cannot simplify that anymore. All right, so we know that 4 times 2 is going to give us 8. And we know that 5 times 3 is going to give us 15. All right, now before we say that this is our final answer, we have to look and see, is 15 in simplest radical form? We know that we multiply 3 times 5. Those are both prime numbers. So our answer here is going to be 8 times the square root of 15, because we cannot simplify that 15 anymore. All right. For number 2, we have -2 times the cube root of 4 and 7 times the times the cube root of -3. So again, we're going to go ahead and multiply our -2 and 7 to get a -14. Here with this negative here, we can go ahead and pull that outside of the radical. All right, so we can pull that -3. So I'm actually going to go back and rewrite this, because we can pull this out. So I have -2 times the cube root of 4, and that's being multiplied, since I can pull that negative out, multiplied by -7 times the cube root of 3. All right, so now we can go through and multiply. -2 times -7 gives me a +14. I'm multiplying 4 times 3, so I'm going to put 12 underneath my radical. Again, I can pull 12 out just to make sure that it is in simplest form. I get 2 times 6, which is 2 times 3. Again, we're working with a cube root here. If this was a square root, we can definitely simplify it more. But since we're working with the cube root and we have to have groups of 3, my answer is going to remain 14 times the cube root of 12. All right. Looking at the next example, and again, I'm going to go ahead and scratch out that top part. That should definitely say multiplying. I do apologize. All right, so again, we're going to use the same process. All right, again, we can see that what we have underneath the radical, we cannot simplify that anymore. But let's just take a look and see. So we have -3 times the square root of 8. So let's see if we can break down the square root of 8 more. I have 2 times 4, which is 2 times 2. Ooh, here I can make a group, or have a pair of 2 2's, which represents 1 2. So I can actually simplify the square root of 8 into 2 times the square root of 2. But remember that our original radical of 8 had a 3 on the outside, or a negative 3. So I have negative 3 times 2 times the square root of 2, which gives me a negative 6 times the square root of 2. All right, so I can now rewrite this expression as negative 6 times the square root of 2 times negative 5 times the square root of 2. Now, could you have gone ahead and multiplied negative 3 and negative 5, and then multiplied 8 and negative 2, and then simplified from there? Absolutely. All right, so here I'm going to multiply, so I have negative 6 times a negative 5, which is going to give me a positive 30 times the square root of 4, because I'm multiplying 2 times 2. We know that 4 is a perfect square, so we have 30 times 2, which is equal to 60. All right? But let's take a look at if we didn't go ahead and simplify first. So if I just did negative 3 times negative 5, which gives me 15, and then I have 8 times times 2, which is going to give me the square root of 16. Taking the square root of 16, I have 15 times 4, which is going to give me 60. So either way works. If you go ahead and simplify first and multiply, or if you just go ahead and multiply and then simplify, you're going to get the exact same answer. All right, so now I want you to try number 4 on your own, see what you can do with that, and then come back to the video and check your answer. All right, so looking here, I have 5 times the cube root of 4 and 9 times the cube root of 4. So 5 times 9 gives me 45. The cube root of 4, I have 4 times 4, which is 16. Let's double check and make sure we cannot simplify that 16 anymore. So I have 4 times 4, which breaks down into 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. I have my primes. Oh wait, I can circle one group of 3 twos, excuse me, and I'm left over with 1, 2. So here we have 2 times the cube root of 2. But we can't forget that 45 on the outside. So we would have 45. Let me draw this little line here. So you have 45 times 2 times the cube root of 2. We know that 45 times 2 is 90. So we have 90 times the cube root of 2. So our final simplified radical is 90 times the cube root of 2. So in this example, based off the cube root, we really couldn't do anything with that 4 because 4 only breaks down into 2 times 2, which we wouldn't have a group of 3. So in this case, we would go ahead and multiply and then simplify from there. All right? Now it's time for you to summarize what you learned from the lesson.